Now this one looks a little weirder, but it's the same thing. We want to get the w alone. There are two things in the way. The plus 7 and then the minus 3/5 times w. Okay, so what we do first is we get rid of that minus 7. That cancels out to a 0. Oh, I forgot to rewrite the problem. I'll do it next time. And then that will go to a negative 9. So now we have negative 3/5 w, which is the same thing as negative 3w over 5. These are the same. Equals negative 9. Oh, forgot the w. So now we got two different ways we can handle this, depending on what you're comfortable with. If you want to go warp speed on this, then you can just multiply by something called the reciprocal. So let's say you wanted to cancel out negative 3/5 completely. Well, you need a 3 at the bottom of you'd have to multiply. You do a 3 at the bottom of the fraction, so that would cancel that out. And you'd need a 5 at the top of the fraction to cancel 5 and 5. Okay? Oh, and it would have to be a negative, because negative times a negative would be a positive. So this is multiplying by its reciprocal. By multiplying by its reciprocal, that will cancel with that, and the 3 will cancel with this. So you're just left with the w. And then you'd have to multiply this side by negative 5/3. Okay, and I made the 9 over 1 to make it easier for us. So before you multiply, let's take a look. You have a 9 here and a 3 here. Divide that by 3, you get 1. Divide that by 3, you get 3. So you're left with a w on this side and a negative 3 times a negative 5, which is 15. I'm recording this, right? Yep. Okay. Let's look at another one. So negative 4/3 a plus 2 equals negative 6. And I want a to be alone. So I got to get rid of the plus 2. And I have to get rid of the minus 4/3. Let's get rid of the plus 2 first. The opposite of that is a minus 2. I do it to both sides. So I'm left with a minus 4/3 a equals negative 8. So how do I get rid of that minus 4/3? Well, I multiply by the reciprocal. So that means I multiply by a fraction. To cancel out a divided by 3, the 3 has to be on the top. To cancel out the 4 on the top, 4 has to be on the bottom. So now that'll cancel with that, and this will cancel with this. Oh, and since this is a negative, this has to be a negative. So I multiplied this by negative 3 over 4 as well. Put a 1 over here. So that cancels, that cancels. So I'm left with an a equals. And then, oh look, I have an 8 and a 4. So I can divide both sides by 4. 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. That's a thick 1. Divided by 4 is 2. So it'll be negative 2 times negative 3, which is a positive 6. Okay, let's look at one more. Nice. So, negative 13. Oh, I'm going to put the variable on the left side to make it easier for me. 5b over negative 13 minus 18 equals negative 13. So, two things to get rid of. The 5, let me rewrite that like a fraction to make it easier for myself. 5 over negative 13. There we go. I need to get rid of this one. And I need to get rid of the minus 18. Well, hopefully you know by now that you get rid of the minus 18 first. So you add 18 to both sides. That goes to a 0. And add 18 to this side. And you get a 5. And that equals minus 5/13 b. So now we got this. So now we need to multiply this by the reciprocal. So that means that 13 needs to go up here, and the other 5 needs to go down here. And that's a negative, so I need to make this a negative. So that'll cancel. Left with a b. And then times this by negative 13/5. Cool. So now, oh wait, I can divide this by 5 and get 1, and this by 5 and get 1. So you're left with a 1 times negative 13, or b is negative 13. There we go.